And this year's Charcoal Award for the best burger goes to the gargantuan GrillMatic double cheese bacon smoked burger. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's take it back to the beginning and check out all the work your boy put in for this ultimate burger. So first up, I've got some ground beef, 80-20, 80% lean, 20% flavor. You know how we do. I'm gonna be seasoning it with some garlic powder, some good stuff, and I've also got some Johnny seasoning salt that I picked up on Amazon. I'll drop a link in the bio for that. It's popping. I've also been working on some herbs and spices in a little shaker that I call the GrillMatic rub. And one of my favorite herbs to use is coriander seed because it just reminds me of my favorite sausage, the Boerewors. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but yeah, that's one of the best sausages you can ever have. I'm gonna be grinding that all up with some fresh black pepper in a mortar and pestle. About a tablespoon of coriander seed plus a tablespoon of fresh black pepper. Grind it all up, let them get to know each other. And fun fact, and strangely enough, I'm a huge fan of coriander seed, but I cannot stand fresh coriander leaves. Totally despise them. Weird, but yeah. I don't know if I'm the only one that's like that. Yeah, let me know. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is combine all the ingredients together with the ground beef, starting with a couple of tablespoons of the garlic powder, which is then followed by 1 tablespoon of the GrillMatic rub, in stores February 31st. Sprinkle a little bit of seasoning, and finally add your coriander seed and black pepper mix. Give it a light stir, get it all combined and homogeneous. Try not to overmix it. So now, a couple of nights before, I made steak dinner, and I also made my own compound butter, which was just awesome. So I had the great idea of taking some of that leftover compound butter and adding it to these burgers because it was just too good to waste. So what I'm doing now is chopping it up into little discs that I'm going to take and stuff into the center of the burgers just to add even more juice, more flavor, more moisture to the burgers. I'm going to add the recipe of this compound butter in the description because this is just a keeper and you can use it on steak. As you can see, I'm using it on burgers. It can last you quite a while if you just put it in the freezer. And as you can see there, nice marbling, clear indications of some of those herbs and spices that are used in the compound butter, which just work well, especially with beef. So check that out. So I've put a little divot in half the burger where I've just gently pressed down the compound butter and taken the other half, put it on top there, make sure it's nice and sealed and keeps the compound butter right in the center and ensuring the burger is nice and juicy from within. Now, as you can see, this is going to be a bodacious burger, packing a ferocious flavor punch. So, man, get ready. Yeah, so now once the desired shape is achieved, I'm putting it in between a couple of patty wax papers and pressing it firmly into a nice circular shape, symmetrical and consistent in thickness. The process is repeated for the remainder of the meat, and that takes us to the next stage, the smoking. Yeah, not that kind of smoking. So after letting the meat rest in the fridge to allow the enzymes to do their thing and the proteins to recongeal, allowing for an improved patty structural integrity. It's time to put the patties onto the smoker. I'm using about half a charcoal chimney full to get the coals lit, and once they're all lit, throw in a chunk of my favorite smoking wood, cherry. Let the smoker come up to a temperature range between 225 and 250. Once that's achieved, it's time to throw the patties on. And I'm sort of going for an indirect approach here. As you can see, the flame is coming from towards where I'm standing, and I'm placing the patties a bit further away so they don't get any direct heat. Once they're all on there, looking all snug, throw the lid back on because looking ain't cooking, my boy. So while the protagonist is handling the main plot, let us digress and give focus to the rest of the cast of this barbecue blockbuster. As you can see, I'm patting down some of that fresh lettuce, and I'm going to be using some freshly baked or freshly bought milk buns, which are very nice, soft and tender, and have the perfect absorption factor and saturation capacity to absorb all the juices that will seep out of the burgers, as you'll see later. Spread some butter on all the buns and get them ready to be toasted on the direct side of the smoker. Roughly chop up the lettuce, and after that hit it with the cube pie drizzle. So now on to the burger sauce. I'm using a bit of Kewpie mayonnaise and some barbecue sauce. Sprinkle a couple of drops of Tabasco for a bit of kick. Mix it all up. Give it a taste. How do you like that? I'm also going to be chopping up some pickled onions. And these pickled onions are actually on the sweet side of things, so they add a bit of sweetness. Now you can imagine the combination of creamy Kewpie mayo, some smoky barbecue sauce, tangy Tabasco, and the sweetness from these pickled onions. That combination is fire, I'm telling you. 45 minutes in, still maintaining that temperature range. Let's have a quick check. Buns are toasting, looking all nice, and then burgers though, exuding moisture. It's gonna be lit. So I flipped them and threw on some slices of cheese, and man, look at that. Ooh wee goo wee, molten sticky icky cheese, bro. Let's hit the assembly line and set the stage for the final scene of this barbecue blockbuster. Now on the side there, I also fried up some bacon to my desired crispiness, and as you can see, the buns got a nice tan. And as the saying goes, ladies first, so I'm gonna assemble the burger for Mrs. GrillMatic. She's just going for a single patty. And the rest of it, of course, can go to yours truly. That's a wrap. Man, look at this. Somebody come look at this. Yo, I wish there was a thing called smell-o-vision, because the smells from these burgers, out of this world, man. Oh yeah, one more thing. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. I'm here to celebrate with y'all. Cheers to you and yours. D Nice, out.